OG Lee in the house. Once again. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Hey, we back with another one, baby.
Another one.
This what is it? 26? 26. And back again with another one. We're back again with another one with Michelle.
Episode 26.
Episode 26.
Yeah,
Write this
Michelle.
down.
If they remember her from, I guess, what, episode 24?
24, indeed.
Just like that, she caught the vapors.
Caught the
And had to come back.
Had to come back and get a taste.
Well, I do enjoy.
Had to come back, man.
Came back and sat down with this guy. You must be crazy, man.
No, I think it had to be you,
I
man.
think it affected you. You become very yellow today.
Yeah.
From head to toe.
I wanted to be.
You kind of remind me. Wait, what was that thing? You remember Run Run? There was a show after school special. They had Run Run, and it was all these black kids that lived in some project. And he had the dude. I can't think of his name.
I feel like this is out of my area here. This
It was
might
like
be
in the
old
70s,
school.
maybe 80s. Run Run or Round Run or what was his name? It was a fat dude that would dance, and then he had those other
Hey.
people.
Fat Albert.
No,
She's fucking talking about rerun.
run.
Yeah. So look, you
had
sounded.
a rerun hat.
Hey.
Rerun hat on. What was that show? Check it out. Google it. Google's it. Picture of rerun. I forgot about it.
Rerun used to wear a beret.
A beret or one of these sometimes, and he had suspenders, and he would just be big old boy, but bouncing it.
We're gonna have to pull that.
And then
one
he
up.
had the skinny nerd dude.
Roger, yeah.
Right, you know what I'm talking
Dang,
about.
old
I
school.
can't,
I came up through that. I came
I
up
can't
when it
remember
was
the
like
name of
that
that.
was going when it was like fucking 6 channels.
I know, right?
Hold up though. Hold up. We can't just lead into convo. This is old school, new school. We got a guest too. Michelle is back. I gotta see how y'all are feeling today, because today's not yesterday, not the day before. How are y'all feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic because I beat a kid swimming. I mean, he was like an actual, normal child. It wasn't like he had any development issues. So, and he was 18, so I got to rub it in his face a little bit.
Gotcha.
It's like,
Yeah,
an
that's
old
a-
lady
that's-
beat you.
that's a hell
Let
of a
an
feat.
old lady beat you.
That's a hell of a feat, man.
What was the race like? How long was it?
It was just 25 meters.
25 meters. Okay.
That's still a hell of a feat.
I mean, he did, okay, the man was a gentleman. I mean, because he's 6'4" and I'm 5. So I got a 5-second head start,
Okay.
which I think is fair. And he almost beat me. I mean, he's going on a swimming scholarship, so I told him he better start swimming.
Shouts
Because he
out.
won't be keeping that very long.
That might be his motivation.
I
Never
know.
again.
I know. I told him I was going to show up at his school and say, I beat you. Old lady.
Now,
beat
where
you."
was he? UALR?
No, it was at athletic club.
No, I mean, where's his
Oh,
scholarship?
his scholarship is at Case Western in Ohio.
Case Western.
Oh, he got real school scholarship for swimming. Like
Wow,
serious.
So that means you got to be a hell of a swimmer.
I like to think I am.
Yeah, because if he got hella scholarships and you beat him, even with that head
5
start of 5 seconds, still he's a scholarship guy.
I will tell you, I went so fast.
What was the name of that college he went to?
He's going to Case Western in Ohio.
I'm sure that's a hell of a school, but I never
it
heard of
really
it.
is.
I never heard of it. But hey,
They got a really good law school.
okay,
Hey, OG Lee, how you feeling? Don't breathe
man,
fast, right?
I'm feeling wonderful, man.
Wonderful.
Hey, if I was feeling
look
any
happy.
better, I couldn't
Yeah.
stand it.
He looks happy, right?
Right. Yeah, boy, he's
There's no
radiating
reason,
over there.
man, to be unhappy. People try to put their shit on you, but really, stay true to your game, and man, there ain't really no reason to be unhappy because you don't know how much fucking long you're gonna be here, and that's the bottom line. Bottom line.
Glass half empty, half full type of deal, eh?
Yeah, I mean, we got shit that's going on in our lives, but I always do that relative thinking. You know what I'm saying? Not to kill my joy, but just to be, keep it in my forefront. You know what I'm saying? This other motherfucker's doing a lot worse than you.
That's always a good way to do it. A good way to do it.
Absolutely, man. Some serious agitation and maybe even worse than
Chick-fil-A.
that.
I was about to say
You know what I'm
Starbucks
saying?
is one of those for real. But
Really? I never understood Starbucks.
I don't either.
I don't
Not for me,
understand
right?
it, but it's like
So,
you can, man. Once you
I
get
gotta
people
tell you a funny story.
who about crowd think, and you can get people.
I want to
to
tell
do
you a
anything.
funny story. So, my cousin who lives in Rome, anyway, lives part of the time in Venezuela. So he was telling me, and I was asking him like, what's going on? Because we have a lot of people leaving Venezuela coming to America, and he was like, oh, it's so fucked up, blah blah blah. And then he said, let me tell you something. This is how insane Venezuela is. They painted a Starbucks sign. Someone wrote Starbucks, misspelled it, put it up there, made it look like a Starbucks sign, and then charged people like $200 for just a cup of coffee. And they came, like hundreds and thousands of people.
200 of their money?
Yeah.
Okay, so how much is that of our money?
I don't know, but I'm saying the point is that need of escape and wanting to be a part of what everybody else in the world is doing is so great that someone took some janky ass hand painted misspelled Starbucks sign and put it up there, and people were desperate enough to believe it was a real Starbucks.
But I was asking that because I'm
lot.
sure it's a whole lot of crazy looking shit in Venezuela anyway, probably, right? To where that was like way out of.
Well, I mean, they have so much like between war, crime, and crazy inflation. They just wanted that escape so bad.
Right.
I'm talking like it looked like your child made this sign, right? That they wanted it so bad to just not be a part of the hell that's going on in their country. Mm-hmm. That they bought into it, and they spent like their whole week's, month's earning for just a regular cup of coffee.
Man, if I was to listen to the news, they were just talking about yesterday, Venezuelan gangs in America on the news.
In America?
What's one of them?
The names? I have no idea. I just heard them say like,
Influx or what?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what city or state. I think they might have been saying New York.
Well, you have a lot of people coming from Venezuela.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. And then, of course, with that, they were saying the younger ones, some of them, are down with gangs. So, and they were saying, they used the word like infiltrate. They're infiltrating, make it seem like shit is gloom and doom. That's what sells, by the way, right? Gloom and doom.
Oh, yeah.
In that good old media, like we were discussing last time we sat down with Michelle.
So, Michelle, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I told you I just beat a young dude swimming.
Hey,
he beat me once, but I know when to quit. And that our tire breaker, I did it after he made like 3 other races. Because I got to be smart about it. I had to wear him out, but I still beat him. So that's all that matters.
I really had a question since we had a female guest on the podcast, right? There was the recent news.
Wait.
Yeah.
You have to put a disclaimer in there.
Which one? Give me that.
That the comments that she's getting ready to make.
How do you know what my comments are about to make?
I don't know it. Hold on. I ain't gonna tell. Hold on.
You're gonna instruct me?
I'm saying that the comments she's getting ready to make do not represent any shit affiliated with this show, and it does not represent all of the females. It's just her.
Well, obviously.
And I say that about me. Yeah.
But you don't need to tell people I don't represent all females. That's just common sense.
No, yeah.
This is just the guest we got.
And that was just something for me to just say at that time.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I'm
Tell them
feeling
your shit.
But I had just saw Miss America, Maryland, that had won last year.
Oh my God.
She was a
my
trans
God.
woman.
See, I have not seen her.
You
I don't
know
know what she looks like.
that's how the Hispanic ladies in New York, I learned that.
What?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
When they just,
Oh my dear.
Oh my God.
Oh my dear.
Oh my God.
dear.
This
Dear,
lady,
dear.
what happened to her now? Or
No,
what
she
didn't
was,
happen to her?
I don't want to mispronounce her name, but Miss America, Maryland, last year's trans, had recently married a Marine, so she was kind of in the news. But I didn't even catch the news last year when she had won Miss America. So I was just seeing that, and I was thinking, like, as a woman, this is typically, a competition for women. A trans woman, is that just fair competition, or?
Well, I remember back in the day when I'd go, and see drag shows and hang out with drag queens.
Mm-hmm.
They made me look bad. Like, they had like all the curves, everything, and you think
They had all the what?
the curves and makeup and
I thought you said courage.
No, but I'm saying.
They do have some hell of a
Oh
courage
yeah, don't
too.
ever fuck with a drag queen. They have no. They will take you down. But I'm saying they look so good, and I have everything that they want, and I can't look that good. So and you think.
Man, listen.
I'm talking about women
If you
in general have more
are
fat,
a
more curvy.
transgender, right? Don't go trying to push yourself on women. Have one of those contests for transgender. Have every competition for transgender. Don't put a transgender swimmer that's built like a fucking weightlifter or whatever
I see
against
what you're
these
saying.
women.
Well,
Have
I
your own.
see what you're saying.
It's one of the
I
things,
do.
even with
You
black
could-
people, one of the things I cannot stand is people trying to push themselves on other people when they don't want it. I hate that shit.
Give me an example on that one.
Like
I feel you.
it's so many things I see with black people where I think, why do you? I mean, it was clear and still is clear in so many ways that white people don't want you in this particular thing. Why don't you do it yourself instead of keep trying to push into that when you literally know? Listen, we don't want you in this, right? Stick with your own. You're a transgender, right? Why you keep trying to push yourself on the females? You're not a female. Go with the transgender competition, and nobody's mad at you. What the fuck you want to compete
I
against?
feel like there should
Man,
be some
please, these transgender
distinguishing
people, they taking shit
kind of
too
factors,
far, man.
But, you know,
Which I say they taking shit too far. I take that back because the new America is about that. In the old America, this is taking too
it's
shit.
old school.
I
But
mean,
now-
I really think, and I think I said this earlier, people spend, there's something like 23% of the laws are being passed about transgender, this, that, the other, and literally less than 1% of the population is transgender. Why are you spending so much fucking money over this hysteria that has nothing to do with how
What
you
do you
live?
say when you're spending on money on?
But they're
what
they're doing all these
hysteria?
transgender laws, like I mean, between bathroom laws, sports laws. I mean, they're making these laws.
Okay,
up.
now
Less than 1% of the
interesting that
population.
you mentioned that because the last time you mentioned about the person should be able to go into the bathroom based on how they present themselves.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to go and check you out. You're going in there to do private business. Why am I going to go and look at your bits when I mean you're just going to go take a shit? Why does that why should that bother me?
Well,
It shouldn't.
Well, if it's
And you're worried about children.
If
Be
it's
with
a-
your
if
fucking
it's-
children
if
and
it's
don't
a-
leave them alone.
if
There
it's
you
a-
go.
If it's a man
Presenting as a man.
presenting as a woman, he goes into the woman's bathroom, right?
I'm just assuming.
Because he's
it.
presenting himself as a
Right.
woman, right?
So you think he's going to go in there and try to abduct somebody just as a woman?
Hey, he's already queer enough to turn himself into a woman. So you don't think that he's got other crazy thoughts? Maybe when and this is what women
What's
I
he going
guess
to
are
tell
afraid
women
of.
into women? I mean, what's the fear?
No,
What's
he's
the
gonna
fear
be
that you
looking
have?
maybe at him like he's a man. And that's what I'm thinking they
Wait,
thinking. Not
so
that he's
you're
even gonna
assuming-
grope him, but just that,
Well, I mean, then you're shouldn't like. I mean, by that logic, then if you're gay, you shouldn't be going to straight restrooms. That's the same logic. He's gonna be looking at him like a man. You're talking about sexualize him. So
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
same logic you have is saying, okay, so gay people go to this bathroom, straight people go to this bathroom, trans
no,
people
but
go to
gay
that
people
bathroom.
do not present. Say if, for instance, if you're a dude, right, you go into a man's bathroom. If you go like most of them do and sit down to pee and shit, nobody knows. They just think you're making a number two or whatever, right?
Right. But I'm saying, but there's no difference. I mean, you're concerned about the possibility.
It's not, I don't have no concern about
I'm
it because
saying-
I hope I don't ever be
Most
around
people
no
go in the
motherfucker like
bathroom
that.
and you don't. I mean, how many people you know pick up other people in the bathroom? Pick
No,
them
it's
up
no
in the
picking-
bathroom.
Let me say this: the complaint, I guess, came from women.
I don't
guess.
think so.
I don't
no,
think
it can't. I don't think
You
so.
think men had a problem
Oh
with it?
yeah, men have a lot of problems with anything that has to do with sex.
It might have if you had some fathers who can't seen some husky looking motherfucker come out the bathroom claiming to be a woman. It might have started from that. I don't know. But I'm just saying.
But I don't understand how that affects you as a man.
His
or as a
daughter's
father.
in the bathroom. What the fuck do you mean?
But aren't you? I mean, if they're of under a certain age, you don't let them go by yourself, right? You go with them.
No, if I take my grandkids out, I look and see first and see how many motherfuckers coming in and out. Once it gets empty, they go in.
Oh, you don't go with them?
No, man, as long as I know nobody's in there, I don't go in there with them. Now, I have went in there several times to make sure nobody was in there. Then it's
I
just
usually
like at
go- I
home. Use
usually
the
go-
bathroom
like, I
and
usually
wash
go-
your hands and come on out.
Right. I mean, I usually go. I mean, well, I say that. Like, I have a lot of kids when I'm teaching the lessons and they have to go. I just go with them, you know, make sure, and I stay in there just to make sure they're okay.
So
between-
you go into the
between-
male's bathroom.
Well, yeah. But no, actually, we have a separate bathroom. It's unisex, I guess. But when I was a kid and young, because I have a brother a year older, he had to go to the bathroom. My mom took him into the women's bathroom to go use the bathroom.
Yeah.
You don't let your kid go out
It's
until they're like
different,
13.
man. It's different than taking your daughter in the men's bathroom.
Yeah, because you can't trust a house full of men.
You're exactly right. I agree
I
with you
know.
100%.
That's from, isn't that from
You
Color
can't
Purple?
trust women either. You can't trust
Speaking
people.
of which, I was,
You know what I'm
one of
saying?
my jobs, I was in
Because when
the
the guy
men's shower
comes
room.
home
and none
and
of the
his
lights
woman is
were-
in the bed with the fucking mailman, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just well. This is you'll find this funny. So one of my jobs, I was in the
I'm
men's
not gonna
shower
laugh
room.
just because you said that.
Anyway, none of the lights worked, and I was like, "Ooh, I would never go where it's dark and a bunch of men go. That just seems like a dangerous place.
Wise.
Say that again now.
A dark place where a lot of men go. I would not go. Mm-mm. Like anyway, it's a shower room, and none of the lights worked. And I said, "This just seems very dangerous to me as a woman. No, I don't want to be around there. I don't know what's going on. That's just too much. Can't see."
That makes common sense, yeah.
I know. I mean, unfortunately, it goes to that whole animal thing that you were saying last week, because you instructed the girls, but you don't instruct the boys. They just be boys.
Well, you know, it's just like if you say, for instance, that a man is a lion, right? I would tell, if I had kids, you know, in the animal kingdom, and they were all, you know, different kinds of animals that were far inferior in so many ways to the lion, I would tell them about the lion. I really would, because the fucking lion is gonna get their ass if they're not careful. You know, I mean, so we could go like I think other countries are more realistic about certain things in terms of our, you know, individual natures as far as male and female. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And live life accordingly like that, and not try to, you know, tell people what the fuck how to live, and, you know, tell kids and shit.
Like who?
Like
what
right
country
now,
is
you
it?
tell a kid, you know, with this whole, for instance, this transgender thing.
Mhm.
And I have to be honest,
tell a
I'm
kid
going
transgender.
with the news, because thank God I haven't had this as a private thing. Like so many other things they divide us on. But anyway, I don't have nobody that's considering anything about transgender in my family that I know of.
Right.
Right? So I don't get all of this shit when they say it. And I'm old school too, where I just knew basically male and female, right? But now they're saying, like, from what I'm understanding on the news, that a parent can, you know, change their kid's sex based on the child and them agreeing that I'm a male, but I would like to be a female.
Okay.
And so then they go through all of this
not
therapy shit.
necessarily-
Before
not
you know it, he's getting
necessarily.
his fucking schlong cut off,
No,
and he's
first
8
of all-
8 years old or
First
something
of
like
all,
that.
surgery never occurs before you're 18 in general, because your body still grows.
Okay.
So that's just bullshit that they feed you to feed that fear.
Okay. See.
Secondly, again, less than 1% of the population. So there's not like a whole mass, you know, like gigantic number of people. But there are some people who, like, I just don't feel like a girl. I feel kind of like a boy. I mean, and you're not, so you just want to be seen as a guy. Thinking back when I was growing up, there were people like that, you know, girls who were overly tomboy. They presented themselves as a dude, and vice versa, right? But I mean, you never just officially said, "Hey, dude, you know, it wasn't so." Actually, no one gave a shit, to be honest. You were just a happy little kid doing your
I
thing.
knew several girls when I was coming up, and they were acting like tomboys up until about 14, 15. They really start filling out, getting hips, ass, tits, and everything. By the time they were 15, 16, dudes start chasing them, and the dude did, and they did what people normally do at that age. Once they got a taste of that, there wasn't a tomboy no more. There was no more
that's not
tomboy.
But what
I'm just saying, you know, when you're 13 years old and 12, you don't know what you are. Let nature take its course.
Just talking to someone and saying, "Hey, you don't have to wear a dress if you don't want to, or if you want to, you do." It, to me, doesn't make you're not making them. You're not condemning them to a lifetime. No one fucking has surgery before 18. They just don't do that.
That's okay. Now I know that, but even still, I know some of that shit they're talking about has some validity. Basically, about the child being able to make a decision about what sex they want to be, and if you let them be a certain sex,
do hormones and stuff before.
Yeah, you can do hormone, but see, I don't really.
Okay. Give us a little breakdown, Google, of the hormones and how that plays into.
You have hormone inhibitors and hormone, and then So typically, again, I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but usually you could do a hormone inhibitor. So to keep you from growing facial hair, right? You want to be a girl and you don't want facial hair, and that's really stressing you out to the point that you cannot. And the point is, you have these criteria set to it according to the American Pediatrics. You have these criteria.
So
If
they
you
can
are
get that
not-
at a young age?
Well, one, you have to meet a criteria. You have to go to a psychologist, you have to see a doctor, and you also have to have your parents' consent.
Okay, so if you got money, that's
people don't
done.
understand.
That's done without.
Well,
if
it
you got
doesn't
money.
matter. The point is, you still
Right.
have to go to a psychiatrist.
Okay, so you can
and a
get
doctor.
the hormones at like what age?
Blockers.
Oh,
or inhibitors.
okay,
But
by
you
the
can
way,
stop
at about
them.
what age?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor.
So if they were 10, you think it'd be permissible?
Well, no, it's probably around 13.
Okay,
Because
so
hormones-
it sounds to
Puberty
me like
something.
you can do all of the things that lead up to by the time you 18. Boom, all I got to
If
do
you
left,
want to.
all I got left to do is
But
do my
if
sex
you want
change.
to, if you want to, that's your right at 18 to do what you want.
Of course,
to
we're
do.
talking about if they want to, but I'm
Right,
saying
but-
if you're around liberal people that's
Well, I am
allowing you,
liberal.
that are allowing you to do this kind of
Well,
stuff.
why would I deny them? They're going to do it anyway. How many people do it anyway?
I
mean, again, less than
I think
1%.
that if you start encouraging somebody at like 10,
So you
by the
think
time
you're
they're 8, by the
encouraging-
time they're
Wait, wait,
18,
So
they're
you're saying-
gonna be doing
so
that type
you're
shit
saying
where
you
you could
can
have thwarted
encourage
that
them.
shit when they were
Right.
about 10.
We really
So-
got to find out what age you can start.
But
giving
the
it to
other
them.
thing
That's
is, you're
interesting.
assuming that your encouragement would actually boost them. I don't know how many kids I know their parents encourage them to be a doctor, and they're not a doctor.
That's because like so many other people who parents tell them to go to college, period. Once they get into that motherfucker, they realize they can't handle that shit. That's what that is.
What I'm saying is, again, it should be between the child, the parent, and the medical people involved.
I think so too, yeah.
I don't think.
But
it should
I
be,
think it would
I don't
be-
think it should be my fucking idiot neighbor down the street who thinks the Earth is fucking flat
Well, how does your neighbor play into that now?
because they buy into all of this BS that you're gonna have surgery. We're gonna force sex change when they're 5 or 6. That's just bullshit.
I think that with the
There's no sex change occurring.
with the parents' acknowledgement, working with the doctor and working with a psychologist, I think every last
So the-
one of these motherfuckers
so-
should be put in jail.
Well,
I'm serious. For
in
fucking
jail?
yes, you fucking up the society with all of that shit.
Again,
'Cause
less
I'ma
than
tell you
1% of the
something. I would
population.
love to know when people were coming up. I came up in the '60s. Plenty of people came up before that. I would love to know where all of these type of people were.
They were around. I don't know what you're talking about.
Transgender specifically.
And
or
all-
just
yeah.
like-
Girl,
and
they've
then
been around
change it.
forever.
I hear people say that shit
You
like
know
I said
there
all
are
the
not
time.
ju-
I
there's
don't know
there's-
where the fuck
Of
they
the
were.
1%, there's 1% of the
I
population
don't
that's
know
born
where they
with
were.
both
I don't.
sexes,
And I know a
Hermaphrodite.
feminine type.
or
of
or some form of a hermaphrodite. I mean, not necessarily.
Well,
all
not,
of that shit
there's
was
very
on the.
few-
All of that
no,
shit
it
was
act-
on the
it's been-
fringes,
look, no,
man.
it's not.
I'm
Again,
telling
it's
you,
a
that was
genetic
not a part
abnormality
of
that
our
occurs.
mainstream,
The point
all that
is,
shit,
yeah, ring that bell. You know, when you
man.
do
We
that,
free.
that
we
reminds
free.
that reminds me of
Thank
mass.
God
That
Almighty.
reminds me of mass.
We free.
Look, transubstantiation.
Thank God Almighty, we free.
He's
Transubstantiation.
free. And that bell right there, baby, makes me think of a good old mind crusher. And this mind crusher today, it is titled "Pick the Worst Murderer."
Pick the worst what?
Murderer. Pick the worst murderer.
My God, my God, my God.
So how do you define worse? Like by the number or
Yeah.
the torture?
Tell me, which one in your eyes is,
The
worse
worst.
than the other, right? So, is a person who murders good dogs worse than a person who murders regular people?
Regular people versus good dogs.
Just
I don't
regular,
know, I
old-
might have to go for
regular
good
old Joe
dogs.
Schmo, and there's a guy out there murdering just the best
But
old
what's-
pups.
Well, I mean, but why good dog? I guess you don't kill bad dogs. I don't know.
Good dogs,
Regular people. So these
Regular
are
people.
indifferent people. They're not good or bad. They're just they just take up space.
run of the mill.
They're not very productive.
Neither here nor there.
I'm
Or
gonna
good
go with
pup.
dogs.
Good pup. That's worse. That's worse. Okay. How you feeling, Julie?
I mean, we're talking about just people who are sucking up air,
Good pups
like
are.
politicians. That'd be good.
What was the thing again? Regular people.
Let me
or
read
dogs?
this back to you. Is a person who murders good dogs worse than a person who murders regular people? Joe Schmo over
Yeah,
Lassie.
I gotta go with regular people.
Regular people. That's
Well,
worse.
I still
Killing regular
have
people.
to. I love dogs, man, but I still gotta give people
Humanity.
higher reverence than any fucking beast, animals and shit. Yeah, I do. I just do, man. But I love dogs.
It really kind of
Now, the white people, man. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the motherfuckers in America, man. People don't realize
Who
everybody
killed
didn't
people?
used to have dogs. They didn't used to have dogs. Then these motherfucking white people came out. I'm just not just you, but in general.
Whitish.
They came out with
Again,
all of these
whitish.
motherfucking handkerchief bandanas on your dogs hanging out the window and shit like.
Well, dogs always hang out the window.
Man, I'm telling you, black people, especially
love that one.
and America, but have came a long way with dogs and pets. When I was coming up, everybody and their brother didn't have a dog. Nowadays,
And definitely no cats.
damn near
Black
everybody have
people
a
don't
dog.
have
And
cats.
don't start talking about black people and fucking pit bulls. Oh my goodness.
No, I'm talking about
But anyway,
cats.
Oh,
I don't
cats.
know. There's like everywhere, one of my jobs. No, everyone's afraid of a cat.
Everyone?
Yeah, every person up there.
I'm
is
not a
afraid of
huge
cats.
cat fan.
And then it's
Most
like,
people
when I
are.
asked this lady why, she said, "Don't take this the wrong way. It's a white thing." I said, "What? What's a white thing? That
Who
you
said
don't have
that,
a
a
cat?"
black lady?
Yeah, and she goes, "No, you want a cat, and we're telling you only white people want cats." And I said, "I got to ask you."
Man, let me tell
Is
you
that
this.
true?
Cats are a matter of survival. You fuck around if you don't like mice and rats and see how quick a nigga don't get a cat.
That's what
See
I
how
said.
quick a nigga don't get a cat.
That's what I was saying because they had a mouse out in one of the offices. I said, "Girl, y'all need an office cat." They're like, "Hell, fuck no." And I'm like,
Now, if
"Why?"
it's an office and shit like that, unless you like when I grew up in Puerto Ricans and got them
He's
big
on the
ass
copier
motherfucking
again.
goddamn cats on the bread and all of those shit like that, man. Like, yo, what the fuck going on here? But
That's
no,
how
I don't.
you
In the
feel.
office, nah.
So when I went to
You're
Italy,
both supposed to hire exterminate and shit
so
like that.
in Italy, 7 cats makes a group, and they're protected by law, which
Mm-hmm.
makes sense because you got like I don't know how many hundreds of millions of people living there, and yet they don't have like blue bonnet plague and whatnot. So I
Where, in Italy?
yeah, and so when I was in
Yeah,
Rome,
you talking bad about Italy?
no, I'm saying it's good. That's why you have cats because they're on the river.
The
You don't
rat-
get
oh, yeah,
rats,
you get it from rats.
stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Right. So anyway, so I opened up the window, and to me it was funny because I was like, "Here, kitty, kitty, kitty," and there's these cats in this little outside of my apartment. They just like chilling, and my mom goes over there. She goes, "Mishu, Mishu, Mishu," and they running. And let me tell you how smart cats are. Within 3 days, they came to kitty, Mishu, and something else that you say in Japanese. I'm like, these are some smart cats.
Learning.
Were you feeding them?
Learning.
Well, everyone does. You open up the window, you throw out your chunk of food, and they come out there like lined up, like in a cartoon, meowing to you. But yeah,
That was in Italy?
Aristocats.
yeah.
Did you notice the difference between Italian cats and American cats?
A difference.
Did
Well,
you
they
notice the
walk around. They walk around parts of the city, and people don't mess with them because they're protected by law.
Oh, okay. Now that's
Is
And
it-
they act like they. I mean, I'm just
Why
saying
does
they
that
act
go,
like
what does
they
that go
own it
back to? The cats and protecting by law.
by Romans. That's how they kept the rats out.
from you saying back in the plague days.
Right. Well, plague and whatnot.
Mm.
I mean, Rome. I mean, a river
That's
runs
some
through
shit
Rome.
right there.
But also in Turkey, they have because the same thing. Cause
What's
they
the
have a lot
river
of
that runs through Rome?
Tiber.
Tiger?
Tiber. The Tiber
the
River.
Tiber River.
Tiber.
Runs through Rome, huh?
Yeah.
And I know that's got to have some kind of religious significance where they maybe go in the river and they give them a baptism or something
I
like
don't
that.
know. I mean, they're Catholic. I don't know why they go in the river.
Oh, okay.
That's like a
Catholic.
Baptist
A
thing.
bathe. and
Don't
the
Baptists
Tiber.
put you in a
I done
river?
heard some shit about them Catholics, but that's for another.
I just said that reminded me of Mass.
I know you said that mass. Yeah, mass what? Mass confusion in that place.
I
Shit.
got a question for OG Lee.
All them men.
Me
Hey,
too.
You know what though? What was the
What's-
trip about that though? Back in the day when they start
How'd you match
had
this so
these-
well?
had these priests, man, that were boys and shit, right?
Damn,
And
no
I was
diddy,
like
no
thinking,
diddy.
man, that was a damn aberration. Come to find out, boy, they had to, and I still don't know how they resolved that because they had so many of them that was
Oh, yeah,
humping
there's
on-
no guy.
humping on young boys. It's like, what the
Scarring,
hell,
bro.
man?
Well, I mean, wherever you have children, you're gonna have pedophiles, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
still,
mean,
though,
Boy Scouts,
I would keep
church,
myself
schools.
out of the church though, because that's really like fake. That's faking the funk, man.
Which
And
part?
I know
If-
some people
if
say,
you're
well,
molesting children,
churches
you're
are for
saying?
broken people and shit like that. I understand that, but man, when you got certain tendencies, stay away from the church. You know what I'm saying? Because what's your reason for going to church? To be a pedophile, or that you got some reverence, you know, in terms
Right.
to God? So,
I mean, I'm Italian, so that's a law. You got to go to church. You got to go Catholic.
how
My
often
mama-
you go to church?
Oh, now I'm broken.
How did you just get on that topic though? Of the
I know, he was
She
very-
started talking about mass and
And
about
he was
Catholics.
like, bam, bam, bam.
And that
Bam,
was a
bam,
big
bam.
scandal in the Catholic Church. Them screwing
It
all
still
of the
is.
young
And
boys.
then,
Hey,
you know, I will say,
the
for
thing
every
is true.
Catholic,
You know how
they
much
were so-
money they had to pay out? Because they might,
Right.
you know, they just like Puffy,
settlements essentially.
just like Puffy's same
Right.
thing. Hey, you messed me up. I got
they're
But
actually-
you.
I said, you're saying from that, you're saying the religion in whole, like, are we going for this or that?
Well, I was going to
What
say,
now?
You were saying at this point in Catholicism, are we going for the molesting of the church? Is that what you were saying?
Oh no! I mean, it's a big part of it.
I know that. I
Right.
was saying,
but
but
I'm
that's the
saying
question
every
you were asking.
Catholic
Well,
was,
I guess it's not really a question, maybe even a statement, because it's no getting rid of that many people, is what I'm saying. They so
that's true.
indoctrinated into that
Like
church
that's
that,
a part
you
of
know,
it essentially.
it's just like,
well, I don't know if
again,
it's
like
not- I don't
that.
think it's
In
the
this
church
case, you
itself.
probably have to, as a parent especially, because there was all kind of social platforms that they were able to get to the kids. So you gotta, you know, tell your kids, like I was saying about instruct, in this case, boys. Where before I was talking about it being girls. In this case, you got to instruct your boys on some things that you might have to
If father
think
whatever
about with
comes
males
over-
advancing them.
As
Yeah.
he put him in boxing lessons
'Cause
and shit earlier.
yeah, that's real
but it's
shit.
not just, I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, the Baptists had their fallout with people recently, like in the last couple of years. Every religion, because where you have children, unfortunately, you can have people using that position to get to it.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Man, that's one of our columns right there too. We're trying to shape
I
the
don't
youth,
know,
help
man.
this
I-
youth.
I-
Oh Lord,
I just think that
I hate it.
over the last 15, man, really about 20 years, people's thinking, man, it's just really gotten even worse, man. Because
think
so
so?
many people have some kind of explanation for their behavior. Whereas before, you'd be like, man, somebody.
Well, I mean,
and,
that
and,
is
and a
true.
group that'll agree with your same weird ass ideas. That's the
Yeah,
Well,
problem,
I
it's
too.
just
say
unbelievable
that because when
nowadays.
I was a kid, you weren't diagnosed with X, Y, and Z, whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, it did help when I finally found out I was ADHD.
That started happening in my
I didn't know I
generation.
was ADHD
All those
until I was in
letters.
graduate school.
Man,
And that was helpful.
The smartest thing they
But
could
at
do
the same
in
time,
school.
you still got to be responsible. And even though I've made lots of mistakes and got in trouble for the same things, this, that, and the other, no filter, blah, blah, blah. That's just, you know, I learned to find jobs and people who tolerated that.
But man, they're enabling these kids nowadays. If we
In
were
what regard?
realistic, you look at a kid, you can tell when they're a few bricks short of a fucking load. And nowadays we have even more. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is, be realistic.
Yeah.
You see that kid? He looks like that, like he ain't got good sense and shit, but he can kind of go along.
Be a little more patient
Man,
with them. They really hate
Not
that
just that, you start getting them into a trade, man. That's what these other countries do. You start getting somebody who you clearly look at, this is not an intellectual fucking person. Why would you let them go, try to go? And they usually all,
Well, you can let them try.
they usually all end up dropping out. Why would you let them go through that? If this is a citizen in your society that you want to be productive, why would you let him go through all of that like he's some kind of academician, right? Make him have a trade.
I think you should
And he
have
would
it.
be more productive in your society than you trying to push him through high school. And then what does he do
Well,
with
you gotta finish high
trade?
school.
You're like, oh, what? He's going to take a SAT?
You
Get
got
the
to finish
fuck
high
out.
school.
Yeah.
I feel like we're at,
You-
at
right, you
Leroy's
try to-
after school.
But you don't want to push the person.
His daycare,
You don't want to
after
push
school care.
somebody into doing something
Well, yeah, obviously,
that
yeah.
they really have no
Yeah.
future in.
Right.
So if
Yeah,
you
high-
see,
high
like I
school.
said, that the boy has got no kind of intellectual type of skill, no kind of
Sit 'em
academic
down.
skills about him, put him into, you
I
know.
like
Yeah.
that.
And I learned that in the military. Because the
Mm-hmm.
military, when you go into the military, you learn something that they teach you in whatever length your school is. Once you go to your permanent duty station or whatever, you start doing that thing, no matter what it is, right? And
What if you
can
hate
do
it?
you can do a lot of things in the military. For instance, I was a medic, right?
Mhm.
Man, the day you go to your permanent duty station, they say, okay, this is what part of the hospital you're going to be in. You've never done it before except by practice so far.
Yeah.
Soon as patients start coming in, hey, you
Get to
draw
it.
this blood. do this, do that, do that. Where out in the civilian life, probably take you 3 or 4 years before you even come, or whatever it is, before
Training
you become
and shit.
maybe a phlebotomist or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if you show people stuff,
Throw
for
you right
instance,
in there.
right? If before we became such a capitalist place, you wasn't really worrying about like blocking a plumber to where you made him have to do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas if you showed somebody how to do a lot of things, they know how to do them without having to take all of these academic tests. You know what I'm saying?
So they
But
can
now
have a
they
little
got it
different
different.
route for those people that are a few bricks short of a load.
If you're being honest,
Yeah.
a lot of time we see kids, we realize, especially as teachers, right? You're looking like, whoa, and then you got all that academic shit. You got that at hand. Everybody get 20, like we used to do, I guess. If we were doing spelling, right? You get 20 words at the beginning of the week, or however many it was.
Yep.
Every day you
Knock
had to
them
write
out.
them 10 times and shit like that. Friday you get tested on them, right? You get one kid, me and 20 kids or whatever. We all get, say 10 kids out of 20. We all got 100. Then you got your 90s, 80s. These kids over here every week, fucking 20. 40, right? These kids are not going to be scholars at any point, right?
Mhm.
So you start
So you're
gearing them
just
more
assuming-
towards being something else, if we're realistic.
Or figuring out how they think.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got to be smart to be a plumber.
Yeah, I'm not saying
I mean-
you don't. You got.
To be a good plumber. Let me put it that
plumber
way.
makes
To
you
be a
think.
good
Yeah.
plumber.
Yeah.
Because you got to figure out pressure, this, that. There's like some calculations in there.
All
Yeah.
kinds of things.
But it is an occupation. When you're talking about a residential house, that if that guy has done that over and over again, he can go in and do anything in that house. And I know people as a witness.
I think you do that in med school too. Just do it over and over
Give
and
me
over.
one of
That's
these.
what I'm saying.
Give me one of these.
As medics, you were doing the same
Look,
thing.
I'll give you one right here.
If you wanted to do it when you first got out of school, they were letting you
I
suture.
think you need to have an after school
thinking-
care. Old school after school care.
Old school after school.
Hey,
I don't
do
want
you
it.
remember when we worked at the state? I don't know if I told you this.
Hold on. Say that. Schoolie gang. Old school, new school. Hey, give us a like, a comment, a subscribe. We got a story for you coming right back. We're gonna take a little break, a little sip, fill up, do what you do. We're gonna be right back, and we are back, baby, filled up. Schoolie gang with us.
Back up.
If you're cool with me, come school with me, man. That's what we're doing. OG Lee,
If you cool with me, come
Michelle
school
in the
with me.
building,
That's good. I
man.
like
Come
If you
school
cool
with me, man.
come school with me.
But we talk about old
Schoolies.
Sha'Carri Richardson. We had talked about in the past. I don't know if it was on camera, but just her past decisions. Now I'm seeing she's getting Nike deals, man. She's seeing.
I mean, it's about time.
Are you feeling like that? It's about time.
Well, I mean, until recently, what?
Because
deals
she had
did you
that
have?
shit with the weed, right?
No, I'm saying, but
But it's
Sha'Carri,
like that-
you had. Okay, I mean, before that, what deal did you have? Maybe they put you on a weedy box and that was it. Good luck, bitch. Bye bye.
Mhm.
I mean, now they're offering the same things that they offer to men. It's about time.
It's a change, turn
That
around.
they offer to men?
Yeah, men get all kinds of deals.
No, he was
Constantly.
talking about in the context of they had put her down because she got with the weed thing.
Uh-huh.
You
Did
know,
she
it's
get-
like they
you
say.
said $20 million
Who was
Nike
the
deal.
rapper that said back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on
Mike
me?
Jones.
That Mike, right?
That's what they were.
Back then they didn't want me.
No, I'm
Now
talking about
hot,
this.
they
She
all
got a
on
$20
me.
million Nike deal.
Right, but
She
they
did.
was first they was hating on her and they was taking the deals and didn't want to fuck with her because of the weed.
She almost got kicked out. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Oh,
does she
really?
need a little
I
more?
don't know.
Does
Did she smoke weed? I don't
deserve
know.
more respect?
Yeah, but what's the thing? This is my thing about that. If you
can run fast,
America's
high, that-
especially
more
bad
power
about
to
that
you.
shit, saying that we're
Mhm.
so free and they want to hold the least little thing against you.
I
If
mean-
you could smoke and fucking run
Right,
like that,
that's what I'm
sweetheart,
saying.
do
That's
you
what I'm
want
saying.
another one?
You know how many people I know
Shit.
who can barely walk when they smoke? I mean, like they just walk real slow and please, you can run that fast and smoke.
I'm telling you,
Olympic speed.
Can you imagine
usually-
how fast she could run if she wasn't smoking weed?
I bet you it'd be about the same. Because
You
at a
think?
at a young age, that shit ain't affecting her. It ain't affected
This
at,
is like
at a
new
young
school
age.
weed, not old school weed. New school weed is strong.
That new shit.
Well, we don't know what she's doing. We don't know if she tested and she just smoked one time. We don't know. All
What
we
if
know,
she's
she
an
fasted in a
edible type of
motherfucker,
girl?
so don't hold it against
Oh
her.
yeah, I'm
They've
not,
always tried to
I'm
do
not-
that
I
shit.
mean, more power, more power.
Yeah.
And kind of like Michelle was saying with just the women are getting more kind of notoriety nowadays. I was watching a more in-depth WNBA kind of like commentary,
Oh my God.
and they were saying this class might just be overhyped and get more social media recognition than
So
classes
wait,
before.
who was saying, men or women speaking? First of all,
This was
a man.
It was a male commentary.
Yeah, that sounds like a man.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look, you can overhype. That's why. There's no big deal. You don't have that. You don't have special talent.
But I don't know the which I'm guilty of being a part of this social media hype. I don't know the past classes of the WNBA. From what,
Man, I think that
So you don't even know who the past class was. For
I
all
really
the
don't.
social
So-
media is getting bigger as we live, right?
as we speak.
So that means that things like that WNBA,
Mhm.
which is why this year they said they got such a big viewership, because social media gets that shit around. It does, you know what I'm saying? And now with them playing a lot better, it can only get bigger, rightfully so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to do some research to see, is this rookie class stacking up to past competition? Are they better or more? Because just from my eye, the viewer, obviously I didn't watch any WNBA previously, really.
Well, first of all, it wasn't readily available. I mean, actually, this is so weird because just like 2 days ago, I came home 7:00 night.
Mhm.
There was a WNBA game, and
Yeah.
I literally said to my husband, "Dude, they're having this on regular TV. I mean,
Yeah.
like baby, we've
Shit
come a
is
long
changing.
way. Baby, we've come a long way. I
Man,
feel like it's a
I'm-
Virginia
I'm-
Slim. We
what
should
channel?
smoke
What
it.
channel was it?
I'm a
Seven.
caveman. I'm a caveman when it,
Well,
when
no
it comes
shit.
to that shit, man. I
I had
really
to
am.
smoke a Virginia Slim on that one.
I just, I mean, it's great. I guess I'm on the tail end of it all, man.
I
Thank
mean, I
God.
think I enjoy watching sports, and if it's a sport that I like, I don't care if it's a girl or a guy.
Mhm.
I'm in it. Like I
feel
love
that.
watching
Yeah.
soccer. I love.
And a lot of people are
Swimming.
like that. They just, like, yeah.
I mean, if you're
just-
good, you're good.
I start thinking so deep when I start looking at that, and I hate that because I was just born in a different era, and when I look at it, it's hard to,
You like
erase
ancient
that.
fucking school.
if you want to call me that. I mean,
Ancient.
I'm just saying.
I
just-
stand
I
on
think
my
I think
shit.
I'm middle school because you new school.
I stand on my shit.
You
Like I
just
said,
old ass
I
school.
mean, my view of it is that,
Throwback.
and I really do think about this because, like, there was never a lot of places where I would go to and think about, man, somebody gonna like shoot in here or do some crazy shit that's gonna
Oh, that's
happen.
true.
That you know what I'm saying?
Did you see
and
the
to
thing
me,
in Atlanta?
the society comes from, and I mean, I say with all due respect, it comes from women, really advancing themselves too much outside of a family.
Oh,
in other
fuck.
words,
No, you did
listen,
not.
No, listen
Oh,
to what I'm
no.
saying right now, and
I
I
can't.
know
My
it.
ovaries are
I
dying.
know it from my experience. I don't know about ovaries and all of that, but I know it from my experience. I see to where women have kids nowadays, and they even consider themselves to be like real family oriented. And when you really look at it, man, every chance they get, they want to get away from their kids.
I don't
Every
know.
fucking
Every
chance
mother I
they
know
get, they
wants to
want to get away from their kids. And
Every
so
mother I
then
know
when you
wants to
look
get away from
when
their
you look
kids.
at the one, I'm talking about on a regular fucking basis. Like they don't really want the kid, but the way it works out now is that you have the kid, no matter how much time you spend on them, even work becomes like more of a priority than your damn kids and shit. And to me, it's just like when we were back in the day, which is a different economy and all that. I understand it, but when your moms was home, man. You was a total different
But what-
person,
but
man.
didn't that
You was
same
a
thing
total
occur
different
to-
person because
but
there was
didn't-
so much more that your mom did when your mom didn't work. Even though, again, I know it has it would be some other changes you would have to make for that to happen again because of our economy. But I'm just saying
Some
the
backwards
way
shit.
that the family was, the nuclear family, it was just so much more wholesome. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't have, based on the fact that the mom was
The
like
father
there
was never
putting
home.
the it was designed to be that way.
Right,
But
and
the
then
mom
they
was
used to
there
say with juvenile
making
delinquencies
sure,
because
like,
the man's never home.
the moms was there making sure that the family was kept intact in every
Keeping it
way.
together.
So
You know
you're
what I'm
saying
saying?
that
So
the
you didn't
problem
have
is that
all of this
women
crazy
are out
shit.
working and
So
doing
what
whatever.
we are doing in this society is making a trade-off, and we have to. The trade-off is women are working and out of the house, and your society becomes in total fucking disarray. And if you want to deny that, look at it. And when we leave here, before we leave here, we probably start hearing some fucking shots. And it's just we got and the thing is people don't
And
want
that's
to admit
because women went to
people
work,
don't
not
wanna
that
admit-
men have fucking guns.
Let me ask one question.
people don't want to admit that our society is going to the dogs.
On that topic, right?
Let's go back to gun control. and
I had
Republicans.
asked Michelle about the the transgender topic earlier, how the female feels about that.
Mm-hmm.
OG Lee, I like for you to answer a question I had. This one a question I have to admit I didn't come up with this one, but on something I saw, what percentage would you say of people, men that are incarcerated, were incarcerated because of a woman or a situation kind of with a woman?
Probably about 20 to 30%.
20 or 30?
Okay, that's a misogynistic questioning. I mean, from the beginning, you're assuming that your behavior is based on some girl, another person that has nothing to do with you, and that's your behavior. That's just some bullshit.
Yeah, except
Just saying that's some
except,
bullshit.
Except
oh
now,
no, except because that woman went to
well,
work.
when I
That
say
woman went to
except,
work.
I'm going to give you a distinct example from being in that situation, right? And overhearing, right? You have some young ladies, and it's not always the case. That's why I said maybe 20 to 30%. But some young ladies will pit one man against the other. They just get something from that motherfucker fighting over me and shit, right? So you have females that will do things like be with a dude knowing, for instance, that he just broke up with this dude, knowing he's jealous. Watch and see if you ever go to jail and see how many motherfuckers from being jealous, that's their ex, they still don't want her with somebody. And she already knows.
And that's her fault.
And no, it's not her fault. But what I'm saying is she knows that. She knows she's in the same apartment, knows she got his kids, shit like that. Knowing he's watching her even and gonna do that shit.
So it's still her fault.
What I'm saying, it's his fault that he ultimately did it. But she knew how he was going to react and set him up.
You're not pulling your shit. We separate, right? You do your thing. I do my thing.
You need
I'm
to
just
sit
saying.
back over there or something?
I'm saying, but you do your thing. I do my thing. You shouldn't be watching me every freaking 24 hours. You should be all up in my business. You went your way.
Right.
I went my way.
Absolutely
That's
right.
on you and your bad behavior.
This
has
is the
nothing
thing.
to do with somebody else.
This is why I say a lot of people don't want to deal with denial. All of that you're saying is absolutely right. But you got people who are not wired like that. They will end up in prison having killed a motherfucker, not even thought twice about it. You're not always talking about rational people.
Yeah.
But you still.
That's why I only said 20 to 30% of them. I'm telling you, you got people in fucking prison. That's how they got there.
And
I came over there and I seen my man with my gun. I shot the motherfucker.
Crashed out.
Once you go in there, you'll hear stories about, that's why I'm in here.
How
I came
many
in the
women
house.
are
This
killed by
nigga, she
men?
got some nigga in my house. See what I'm saying? That's the same apartment that they've always had when they broke up. She got some nigga in my house. She already knew he was going to react like that.
Let me say this.
But she can't be celibate for the rest of her fucking life.
In this instance, right? Michelle is correct that it is not the female's fault, right? Not by any means.
I mean, how many women are killed by men?
A lot.
Right, a lot
probably.
could be. But
because that's what I'm saying. You know how he's going to react.
Nonetheless, in both of those situations, the outcome of said incarceration would be not a woman's fault, but because of a woman, which a man's ego is a part of it a lot.
And
but
a lot of times they know that
shit happens.
But
and
men
crash out over women.
Men than the other way around. And more women are actually murdered. I mean, fuck it. And how many men actually go to jail?
And listen,
I believe
if it's in America, especially because this is the thing that, again, like I said, a lot of times we don't want to deal with what really is. And most men now are letting themselves get talked out of it. Most women know that, and we could use all kind of semantics, but when you get together, however y'all get together, you say, that's my man. He said, oh, that's my woman. The man looks at that damn near like ownership. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say about it, but that's the way the man looks at that relationship. And the woman knows that too, because based on very early a woman got with a man a lot of times for protection, just naturally. Right?
You don't think a woman sees it as ownership? That's my man.
She does too. Yes.
Absolutely. Maybe even
and there are
more.
some women that'll come in and do some serious shit to another woman for messing with a man.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, once you understand that relationship and understand how that man is going to react, how that woman's going to react, you don't do certain things knowing that unless you setting them up. You know there's certain people that know this guy will go over here and kill somebody. He don't care about nothing. Same thing with some females, right? So when you put them in that situation to know that's going to occur, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't live your life, I'm saying do other things. Like it may be drastic, but it might be like move out of town, shit like that.
Well, but that's also expensive.
You might move to the next fucking city or something, just where he don't have to see you or something. If you know, because
But,
like I said,
why
if you know
can't that motherfucker move?
he might do it too. And I
If
know
you can't
I know
handle it,
people
get the
who have
fuck
got
out.
divorced, and when they got divorced, they moved out of the city because they knew they could not bear to see their wife with another man.
You know what
For
that made
real.
me think of?
What's
that
that?
situation and people being, sometimes short fused, ego driven.
Mm-hmm.
It brought to me the good old word of the day.
Hey, that was a good
The
Of
word
the day.
of the day, eh? In the word
Word
of today,
of the day.
even bought by our guest, I can't claim this for myself.
Word of the day.
The word of the day is irascible, right? And irascible, just simply defined, is having.
And like I said on that one though,
Uh-huh.
you're not gonna get a lot of niggas using that.
Yeah, that might be,
I'm just saying.
that might not be at the top of your bag.
Hey,
but
I
you can
saw
put
it
in there.
on a black British television show.
Oh.
I watch a lot of British TV so I can learn my vocabulary.
Black British people are different, which is a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It is interesting.
Bloody
But
hell.
this definition simply is having or showing a tendency to be easily angered. Which
you irascible.
your irascible will get you incarcerated, eh?
You know
That's
what?
true.
Like I said in another interview, man, how we've used the word crazy to just describe so many things.
Yeah.
Niggas ain't gonna be, his niggas irascible.
He's
Yo,
crazy.
that nigga
Irascible.
crazy.
Irascible.
Well, I've used mercurial before.
Mercurial?
You're right. I said it to you one day when we were at DHS because I love that word. Because
You said it to me?
Yeah.
And you remember saying it to me?
Yes, because I just learned it.
That day or whatever?
Yeah.
What was it
I
about,
I forgot
mercurial?
about it, and then I remembered.
Mercurial?
Mercurial means you can flip. You know, like Mercury, up, down, up, down.
You mean you could flip on a dime or something
Yeah.
like that?
I mean, like some crazy, like you be talking to some girl and be like, hey, da da da, and then
Yo,
she just
wait
flips.
a minute though. Wait.
She's like, fuck, what you say?
Wait. You remember using the word mercurial
Because I
to me?
forgot about it. Yes, and I forgot about the word, and then Cindy's one that said something about mercurial,
Wow.
and I said what? And then because anyway, because I know you, I met you, but then I also knew a lot of stuff through Cindy, and I was just thinking about that because you told me something mercurial. I said I forgot about that word, and then you and I were talking. I said let me use this new word I just learned, mercurial.
Mercurial, we might have to. We might have to
and
use that
How
one.
did I look at you?
Like you look now.
Mercurial.
Well, I mean,
I
it's
see
really
the
good.
root
You know,
word like
when
Mercury,
you have people,
right?
you can
So
be
I
like,
thought,
"Hey,
okay.
what up?" And they're like, "Fuck you, bitch." I mean, like that's mercurial.
Mm.
That's beyond irascible.
Beyond irascible. Interesting. We might have to define that one.
Which one, irascible?
Mercurial.
Oh.
Mercurial. We might have to use that on the
We
next
out here?
one. But it's old school, new school. Hey, it's UNDE. OG Lee. Michelle's in the building. Episode 26.
Let me ask you.
Schooly gang.
How do you feel about the pod?
Hey, I like that.
Actually, I've been listening to y'all when I catch it, and I've been following y'all for about a year. You sent me the link about a year ago, and I would catch it. I try not.
Yeah, it hasn't. We
I'm
haven't been doing it for a year. We haven't been
Well,
doing it
when
for
you
nowhere
when
near
did
a
you
year.
send me a thing? I thought it was a year.
Could have been.
Maybe,
It's been in the
yeah.
works.
I know.
But
since
anyway,
it's
I
time.
hope,
The point is,
if
I'm
you got-
horribly
you-
ADHD,
are
so I
you-
have to keep
you
my.
subscriber?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've been a subscriber.
Okay.
We got some audio
And-
too.
hey,
Wherever
on
you
your
want to
Facebook
find us,
and all
Apple
that,
Music.
share, you
Oh,
know
I
what
don't
I'm
know if
saying?
I'm on Facebook, but
Yeah.
I subscribe to you on YouTube.
We're slacking,
And
so we
you
gotta
sent me,
get
I think, the first link the first time through Facebook. Maybe I am.
Schooly gang.
I
See
have
the
to
part
keep
that's
my.
Schooly gang.
I'm horribly ADHD, so I have to keep my Facebook time very little, or I'll spend like an entire day there.
Hey, you
Well,
and me
you
both.
like a lot of people. Then I don't know if we consider them fully diagnosed as ADHD, but a lot of people are
Go down that
spending a
rabbit
lot of
hole.
that screen
on-
time, boy. That screen.
Yeah, but I've got like stuff to do.
Hey, but some of that screen time, man. Spend some of that with this old school new talk. Even if you want to just listen, old school, new school. If you want to watch, old school, new school, man. Hey, it's UNDE.
Yeah,
OG
man,
Lee.
yeah.
Michelle in the building.
Yo, I
Schooly
want y'all to
gang.
comment, man. If y'all want Michelle to be a regular
comment,
guest,
subscribe.
if you want her the hell out of here, or
Let
you
us
want her as
know.
a periodic guest, And she's coming with her own show real soon. So, hey,
Keep
stay
eye out.
tuned. Stay tuned.
Old school, new school. We out.
I'm gonna